Right, there's just one more thing to put in. Like I said in one of the earlier videos, we could have put trees in the distance, but what we're going to do is just put some low mountains further back, just to finish off the picture. Now, I just want to show you by putting a piece of paper over here what I've got in mind. If you draw mountains, right, I know this sounds silly, but they don't go like that. Right, excuse the shapes. They don't go like that. Well, not normally anyway. What tends to happen, put that underneath, is that they rise and fall differently. So in other words, if you are drawing a mountain, and especially one in the distance, it would be good to just take a wander up and then take a longer wander down. You take a second one behind the first. Far more natural, you know. So try and make that side different to this side, not the same as. Okay. So what we're going to do, go back to the paint. This part of the painting, I'm just going to put in that. I'm going to take a short wander up and a longer wander down, and disappear behind the trees, and then I'm going to do the same, slightly differently behind there. Okay, you could put it on the other side as well. I'm not going to do that just yet. So we need to get some paint on there now, and excuse me, shifting things around a bit. I'm going to start off with a blue and probably with a little bit of purple, because things in the distance often have a purple sheen to them. Now, we've had shadows on the left hand side of my trees, so I'm going to do the darker side of the mountains in a blue on the left hand side. I'm going to come up the edge and back down, and I'm going to purposely leave some spaces. Then I'm going to wash my brush. I'm going to come down the other side much lighter and join into that as I go. Okay, and I also can add a little bit more colour if I feel it needs it, just dropping the paint in and leaving it. But I'm leaving these white areas. I'll come down to my horizon line, which has to be straight, and it has to be horizontal, because if it's not, it will look strange. Okay, and I'll take that out, and I'm just going to strengthen up down here, if I can get some colour in the brush. And I'm going to just make it slightly darker at the bottom and take it off over there. Okay. Now, if I've got one behind, I don't want the same colour, so this is where my purple might come in, and I will do the same. I'm really just coming down the right hand side with the purple, because the left hand side is obviously hidden by the mountain in front of it. Now, there's too big a jump from one to the other, so I'm going to put a bit of blue in the back one just to tone it in more, and I'll put a little bit of the purple, whoops, a bit strong, into the front one. Okay, so that we're sort of making them part of the same thing, and I'll just fade it off behind. Now, you may have noticed that's too strong as well, so we wet the brush and just blend it in more. Okay, and then we have these distant hills. Now, you may have noticed that this horizontal line below it is this white line. If you go back to one of the earlier videos where I said leave a white line between your sky and your water, and I said it would become clear later on why. Now you've got this light which almost looks like sheen on the water, and it's a long way off. You know, it's covering quite a lot of water surface, if you like, and but it sort of gives that added sparkle to your picture. If it's I've got a feeling mine's just a little bit too obvious, I'm just going to drop in a couple of half faint lines, just knock it back a little bit. I'm not sure that was a good move, but anyway, we'll go with it. And then then you've got that light on the water. Now you can add to the mountains if they're too insipid, or you can sort of strengthen them up a little bit. If they're too faint, you just build it a bit, or the other way around. If you need to take any out, then just clean water and just go over it, and then with your hopefully cleaner piece of tissue than mine, you take out again. So you can get a bit of sheen on the mountainside. So what I want to do is to move the board and to zoom out. Hopefully we'll get back to where we were with most of the picture in the in view, and you'll see now that those mountains have nicely settled. You could in fact put a bit of reflection of the mountain in the water here if you wanted to sort of show it, but it's a long way off that mountain. I'm not sure you'd see much in there. But on the other side of the painting, I'm just going to add another bank just here, mainly just to balance up the picture, because at the moment it's all on one side. So I'm going to do that, just a quick one in there. Now, keen eyes amongst you would see that this is not on the same horizontal line as that lot. Well, that's fine, because in a sense it could be the entrance to some sort of inland water, and it wouldn't have to be on the same levels in that sense, because this bank could be nearer to you. So you've got a sort of sense that you could come in and come round, and then just to take some of this mountain just right away into the distance behind there, just to link up a little bit the two things, so that they make more sense when you look at it as a whole picture. And I'll just put a bit of shadow in down here, just to make this a little bit closer, So there we have it. We have a painting of trees, atmosphere, water, mountains, grass, boats, texture, you name it. We've got the lot in there, and there isn't the need to put much more in. You could start putting people sort of climbing in the boat and various other things, or you could put a few birds in the flying past and little bits and pieces. That would be up to you to decide. But you have a whole painting there of watercolour, wet in wet. Just to say that this is the last of the videos about landscape painting, but there will be further videos based on textures, buildings, stonework, paths, lots of different things, tonal work, pen and ink drawing, and who knows in the future. But this is not as hard as it seems, and I've known from experience of a lot of students that have come along and said, "Oh, I can't paint, I can't paint." But if they take a bit of time and listen and try and follow what goes on, it may not work first time, but they should be able to produce some quite nice watercolour paintings. And it is a very, very pleasing medium to work in. And like I say, it's a fairly quick medium, so you don't spend 4 days and then tear your picture up and throw it in the bin in disgust. Last point, never throw anything away, even if you think it's terrible. Put it away in a drawer or in a folder or something, because you can learn even from the worst paintings, and sometimes it's never as bad as you thought it was at the time. I've salvaged a few that I really would have quite happily rejected earlier on. So I hope you've enjoyed this set of videos, and if you have, then try and get hold of the electronic book with all the information about this, and keep your eyes peeled for any future video courses. Thank you and goodbye.